Hi, this is Andrew Grease at Quality Equipment and Spray, QSpray.com, with the next in a series of videos about your spray equipment for your pest control or landscape business. Today my topic is how a lack of training can be very expensive, and we have some very good photos and a very specific example where lack of training of a technician cost this company quite a bit of money. So here's some photos. This is the Honda air filter. You can see on this air filter there's supposed to be a foam outer filter to protect the inner filter and extend the life of the inner filter and provide extra protection to the engine. And this filter was years and years old and had just worn away. And the thing that strikes me about this was so obvious, and how many people looked at this and did nothing. I mean, clearly the tech either didn't know or didn't care, needed some training, but the owner or supervisor should have been looking at this equipment at least, once a month or once a quarter and seen that this was a problem. I mean, with the Honda engines, and let me make a point about Honda engines. If you have a power sprayer with a gas engine, it needs to be a Honda. If it's not a Honda, it's clearly at least second best or worse. But on the Honda, if you do a couple of things, you change the air filter, you change the spark plug, you change the oil, you make sure there's good gas in it. If you service it once in a while, you'll get at least 10 years out of these things, and sometimes longer. And clearly this was misuse and abuse. But it gets worse. Honda engines have an oil alert, which means there's an oil sensor so that if the engine does not have oil in it, it will not start. And this protects the engine. It makes it so you can't run the engine without oil. But what happened here was the tech couldn't get the engine to start, either because the oil was too low or there was no oil, or perhaps sometimes if the oil is low and you're parked on a hill, the sensor thinks there's no oil and it won't start. So what the tech did here was he cut the oil sensor so he could start the Honda engine. And this caused the engine to be run without lubrication and did some severe damage to the engine. There's now a knock in this engine, and it's clearly going to fail sometime in the future. The owner of the company declined to have us replace the engine because you'll see what's coming. He had to replace the pump, which I thought was short-sighted. I mean, you're going to have downtime. This engine's going to fail. He's going to have to stop what he's doing, lose a day's work, come back to us and have us replace the engine. But, I understand you got to watch your nickels when you're running a business. But clearly this was abuse by a technician to just cut this. And again, there should have been training, so the tech didn't cut the oil sensor. The supervisor owner should have inspected this and saw this problem and prevented this severe damage to this engine. Okay, this is the filter, the line strainer, and you can see those little yellow rubber pieces are parts of the diaphragm. So what happened was the technician ran the pump without oil. The pump ran hot, the diaphragms got hot and were destroyed and got sucked back into the filter, but the pump was run without lubrication. And you can see from this connecting rod, it was a total loss. This connecting rod is supposed to be, machined aluminum, soft as a baby's behind, but you can see it's scored. You can see right here, there's little pieces of aluminum weld from other parts of the pump welded to this connecting rod. And the pump was a total loss. It was a $1,000 replacement repair bill for this guy, all because his technician was not trained. So it was an expensive lesson for this company. And with a little training, you can avoid problems like this. So hopefully you'll get some tips here. Train your technicians, do a regular or periodic inspection to make sure they're doing what you want them to do. And when you need power spray equipment or any kind of equipment for your pest control or landscape company, please think of QSpray.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.